Hello and welcome to the Record Club, brought to you by Record Store Day, the official charts, and National Album Day, and proudly in association with Bowes and Wilkins. My name is Jess Izat. Thank you so much for joining us. We're excited to say that our guest this evening is Lauren Spencer-Smith to talk all about the new album Mirror. And if you're new to the Record Club, we're going to be spending the next half an hour talking to her about the brilliant new record. And then we are going to be putting forward some of your questions about the album to her to answer. So if there is anything you'd like to know about the record, whether it's about a certain song, maybe it's the artwork or a particular lyric that you've enjoyed, make sure to drop us a question in the comments section below. And I'll be asking a selection of them in the second half of our chats. On top of that, one lucky person who sends in a question today will be randomly selected to win a pair of Bowes and Wilkins PX7 over-ear noise-cancelling headphones, which you can listen to the album in, and it sounds so, so good. Obviously, get your questions to us and don't miss out. I also have the new record here in my hand, the vinyl. I have literally a clear vinyl in here as well. It's very cool. If you don't already, make sure to get yourself a copy from your local Week's Record Club and say a big hello.
Lauren Spencer-Smith.
Welcome.
Hey.
How are we doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. We were chatting just before we went live. I know that you're not in the UK right now. Talk to us. Where are you? How's it all going?
Yeah, I am back home in Canada. I'm actually a little bit sick right now again. You know, the after tour break sickness, I feel like is hitting me. But the weather is good. I'm home. My family's visiting. I feel peaceful. I'm taking a break before tour starts again. So I'm good. Yeah.
It's almost like your body knows that you need a break and then it just goes, nope, I'm stopping you from doing anything. You need to chill.
And honestly the most frustrating part was that I wanted to come home because all my videos I make for TikTok are in my car. So I was like, I haven't had my car for 7 weeks of this tour. So I'm like, finally I'm gonna come home and be able to make some more videos for TikTok. And now I'm sick, so I can't sing. And so I'm like, I'm just trying to make videos in my car. That's all I want.
That's all I want from life. Please let me sit in my car and make videos. Well, you know what? Look after yourself. Get those hours in. Have some sleep, and let your parents look after you. I feel like your mum will probably look after you, won't she?
Yeah, my mom is the best.
So each week on the Record Club, we have a question from one of the many amazing independent record stores across the UK. And this week's question comes from Thorn Records in Edinburgh. And they're asking, when you wrote the songs for Mirror, did you come up with the lyrics first, mostly, or was it the melody?
Ooh. I don't know. This is gonna sound so weird, but I feel like it's normally like a combination of both. Like everything I write is really concept driven. So like I don't know if I wanted to write a song called Do It All Again. We'd kind of have the title going into it, be like, I want to write a song called Do It All Again. I'd have a list of like, here's what it's about. The meaning behind the song needs to be that I'm thankful to my ex. So like I don't know if the chorus needs to start with like, I'm thankful that I got rid of you in my life because now I'm happy and I found every part of myself. Like I'll have things written down. And then when someone starts playing chords, I'll start trying to form some type of sentence with those kind of lyrics in it. So I feel like it's kind of simultaneous. I wait for someone to start playing something and then we're like, oh, we don't like that. Play something else. Or when they start playing it, it just kind of lines up and we're like, oh, this could be the verse, this could be the chorus. But I definitely think I'm the concept lyrics driven, but it kind of comes at a simultaneous time, I think.
I feel like with you, so I mean, we had a little chat. This was a while ago, and it was just before the album dropped. And it was interesting because it was about the album. But I was like, I've not heard it, and they won't send it to me, and I don't know much about it. And so much is making sense now. So you were talking about the final track, and I feel like obviously I have to say big ups to Thorn Records for setting us up for this. Thank you for your question. But let's get stuck straight in. Obviously, you have a lot of ideas that come. It's not just like feelings and then song. It's like you've literally thought of so much behind this. So on a scale of 1 to Cheshire Cat, how smug are you with the last line of Do It All Again, linking with the piano of Flowers and then lyrics of Fingers Crossed? When I tell you my mind
Yeah.
was blown. And I knew it
Every
was coming.
honestly, that was like the
Something was
most
coming.
I feel like I listen to so many songwriters and they do like such intelligent things and like have such intelligent wordplay and I'm like that's because you did like well in school and like I did not do well in school. I just feel like my emotions come to me and I'm good at articulating my emotions. And so this was the first time I felt like we did something that was like super thought out and just super smart. And so I literally remember after we wrote it, like me, Kian, and Gina, I was like, this is the best part of the entire album, guys. Like, I've never been prouder of a moment on an album. Like, I feel smart for the first time in my life. Like, we thought of this in advance. Oh my goodness. And then literally everyone started making reaction videos, and I was like, it did exactly what I wanted it to do. I was so happy.
I'm like, I said like a Cheshire cat. I'm smiling like a Cheshire cat. I remember hearing it and I feel like you created the moment because of the piano with the setup. Do you know?
Yeah.
Like to the last line, 'cause the last line is the smart part, but the piano is like the bit that really like tees it up. So
Yeah. And it was
yeah,
like, you think it's
chef's
over, and
kiss.
then it comes right back. And I'm like, yes.
It's so good. It's so good. Um, well, obviously the record is out in the world. What is the song that you think was possibly like a surprising fan favorite or one that people, got stuck into and you were like, oh, that one?
Ooh. I'm trying to think of like what's like the most streamed. I was kind of surprised that people like Love is an Overstatement. Because that's always been like my least favorite. I've been really surprised it shows how loud people are singing 28. Because 28 came out a while ago, but we put it out at the same time as Best Friend Breakup. So like Best Friend Breakup was the focus track. So like that's what I was really posting over and over on my socials, not 28. I don't know if maybe people just didn't realize it was out, but now that the album came out, they're like, oh, 28 is out. But people sing that the loudest at my shows, and that's been really shocking too.
I feel like that one is one that I've marked out that just like hit really different because I think
Yeah.
when I was listening, you kind of it comes on and then I'm like, oh, like what kind of relationship is she talking about here? And
Yeah.
then not to go too personal, but I feel like more people can relate to that than you think.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, wow, okay, she's really spilling the tea. And I'm going to sound so British here, but the brutal honesty in this whole record. It's like reading your album diary, reading your diary. It
Yeah.
is an album. It is your album. Like this is it. Like I feel like
Mm.
you've literally spilt the tea. Um, how much of it is your actual lived experience? Is it 100% all coming from you? Or is
Yeah.
there some
100%.
stories?
I would say there's probably like three lyrics in total throughout the album that are like either an exaggeration of something or like a metaphor for something else. Like in Hey, we say like she broke her vows, which is like my boyfriend has not been married. No one broke
Mm.
their vows, but like it's a metaphor that like when you're with someone, they like promise to not cheat on you or like do bad things, and they did those bad things to him. But I would say like almost 100, like 99.9% of everything in this album is like a true experience.
And have you ever been able to get the response or feedback from the actual person that it's about?
I mean, I think there's a few different songs about different people. Obviously, like you mentioned, 28. The main person I feel like most of the songs are about is Blocked and
Okay,
is going
yeah.
to stay locked. When Fingers Crossed came out, they definitely tried to reach out, and I was like, I'm good.
Of course
We're
it
going to keep
is.
that.
She's
Yeah.
trying.
And so I just left that one in the past, and then I have not obviously heard from them since all the other songs as well. Um, and then yes, I've definitely had like almost every single song I have someone be like, "Is this about me? Why did you write this?" Blah blah. And I either have to be like, "No, it's not about you." Like I get asked a lot by like every friend I went to high school with if like Best Friend Breakup is about them, and I have to be like, "This song is not about you. Like it's okay. Like I'm not shading you on the internet. Don't worry." Yeah, I get asked a lot.
Did the person who it is about get it right?
Um, a few of them reached out to me. One of them did. Um, but I'm like, hey, it's not about you.
Now, literally, if any of them are watching this, they're all going to be like, okay, now I
Maybe,
don't know what this is
well, who
about.
is it about? I don't know. Yeah.
Oh God. Okay, right. Well, honestly, I love it. I feel like I'm eating it up like it's like a series or like, and I'm sorry because it's your actual lived experiences.
Yeah.
But with this album, I feel like with story or I guess with life, it does get happier. And
Yeah.
you've done that. Like there are so many lows in this, but um lots of feelings to process as well, but there is light at the end of the tunnel here and also like a sort of life lesson within the record. Yeah, how are you now?
Yeah. I mean, I've been on tour, so I'm definitely like exhausted. I would not say I'm like a 10. But I am feeling like good. I'm definitely not in the phase of the beginning half of the album, and I'm still in a relationship and I'm still happy. So I'm doing pretty good. Yeah.
There is therapy mentioned a couple of times in this
Yeah.
record as well. um I feel like this album must have also felt a bit like therapy to you as well, right?
Yeah. Like I literally will write a song, cry to it so many times. I'll join my therapy session and be like, oh, look at this, like, listen to the song I wrote
Your
about this
therapist is probably
situation.
getting the first versions, aren't they?
Yeah, he is. And I'm like, I wrote this. Oh my God, like, listen to this masterpiece I wrote about my feelings. Like, isn't this a way better way than talking about it? I totally do that. I totally cry to all the songs before anybody else gets them. And then when I'm over it, I'm like, okay, you can have the music.
That is
Yeah.
amazing. That's like a weird flex from a therapist, but they're actually like they can't tell anyone anything, can they? So
Yeah.
you can trust them. Is there a track on this record that went through the most change from demo phase to its final mix?
Mm. Trying to think of the track list. I mean, that part kind of like went through a bunch of different versions for sure. Um, I Love You went through a couple different versions as well. Do It All Again, like barely past the finish line. With the production, it was like I got a version back and I was like, this isn't gonna be ready, guys. Like, I'm not putting this on the album. Like, this sounds nothing like what I want the song to sound like. And there was definitely lots and lots and lots of versions of that. Obviously, it made it and it crossed the finish line. There was about like three that I was not confident were gonna be finished before the deadline, because there was just so many different versions and like it just wasn't getting nailed. But they did make it. Those three made it, and
Mm-mm.
now everything is fine.
I feel like everyone as well, if you're listening, cherish those songs as well. Because if they like only just like not make it, it's like you could never hear them probably.
I
But
know, right?
yeah, very, very much valuing them. Obviously, as well, people at home, you can get involved with your questions as well. I'm going to be getting to those very soon. Is there something on this record that you could tell us that maybe from a first listen you wouldn't know? So, like maybe something that's in the recording process, maybe a sound or instrument that made it in, or you know, working with Gail and M on this as well.
Yeah. Ooh, I don't know. What's something people wouldn't know on a first listen? I mean, I feel like if people haven't been with me since Fingers Crossed, they have like no idea what the ending of Do It All Again means whatsoever. But Fingers Crossed was obviously the first song that ever came out that's on this album. So definitely keeping that in mind. Um, yeah, Gail and Em are definitely on it. I loved working with them. I feel like if you are just putting it on shuffle and you hear their voices, you're like, oh, someone else is on this album. And they're so great. I was so happy that they wanted to be on it. I'm trying to think of like maybe I don't know. I maybe just say like the storyline of the album obviously goes from like depressing, I'm going through a breakup, to happy at the end. So like first listen, just trying to like figure out the storyline, I feel like would be really cool. So just like keeping in mind that it does all come to a happy ending while you're listening would be cool.
And if you want to cry at any of the songs, obviously just go check out your TikTok as well.
Yeah.
Honestly, there was like I think is it I think it's your boyfriend maybe in the video, and it's for two hurt to fall in love in the car, and is it it's a guy there's or a guy mate or
Oh, I don't know. I feel like it's not my boyfriend because me and my boyfriend do not make a lot of videos together.
okay. I was watching the videos and he featured quite a few times. Maybe you did
Oh
like a
wait, I
little
think it's
video.
Alexander. I think it's
Yeah, maybe it's
Alexander Stewart.
Alexander.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is also an artist. So I'm like, all me and my artist friends, all we do is like, oh, I have to play this for you and like react to it, the video. Oh my goodness.
Oh no, honestly, well, it got me crying anyway. I was like, I don't even know who
Aw.
that is, but she's showing another person and I'm in tears. Do you know when you do that, like that people are gonna respond like that?
It kind of depends on the person. Um, Not really. Like, there's definitely songs I'm like excited about, and I'm like, I know my friend and I know what kind of music they like, so I know that they're going to like a specific song, so I get excited. But I don't know, sometimes like I've done them with Natalie where she like starts crying and I'm like, what? Oh my goodness, I didn't know you were gonna cry when I played this for you. But normally I'm just like expecting like a basic, like, oh, this is a cool song, so it's cool when they actually like it.
And obviously, I feel like debut albums are sort of like almost like an up until now when it comes to like your music and your life. Do you have like a lot of songs that maybe make the next record or like next release or something that you're working on, or do you think you're like looking to another sort of concept album?
Yeah, I definitely want to put out more songs. I'm definitely going to put out another song this year for sure. Um, I feel like what I'm going to end up doing is just putting them out as like singles and probably adding them to like some type of deluxe because I definitely have at least like three songs that were going to make the album, but I wanted to save for after album. Um, and then everything else I'm going to write either the songs that are already written, either those are just not making the album and they're definitely not making the second album. And then in future, like anything I write is just going to be for second album.
Okay, well, people get inspiring you, and then or like current relationships don't annoy Lauren, and then maybe, or
Yeah, be
unless you want
careful,
to be on the album,
everyone.
not
Walk
sure.
on
Um,
eggshells.
before I can see your questions are coming in, before we get to them, obviously we have to talk about the album cover. I feel like the more I looked at it, the more I noticed from it. How was this shoot for you? And yeah, what was the idea from?
Yeah. I mean, the shoot was fun. I did that water that I'm sitting in is real water and it was freezing. I was
Always.
genuinely so cold. Like I was like asking people like go boil the kettle and like pour some hot water in here or something and like they were doing that and it was still freezing. Like I was just sitting in like a skirt and there was like paint kind of in the water because we had painted the outskirts of like we had to build the set obviously. So it was freezing water, so I was definitely miserable for like 40 minutes sitting in that water and being like, if this isn't the shot, I'm gonna be so upset. Like this, if this becomes the album artwork, it was worth it. But it was actually a 2 day shoot for all the artwork, the tour posters, like everything that we did. Um, but I knew that I just wanted the album artwork to be like just like classic and simple, but still obviously signifying mirror and like reflections and reflecting on your life in order to write songs. And so we kind of had the water concept because we felt like it wasn't as simple as just me staring into a mirror, but it still gave a really cool concept. I didn't want to do anything crazy. So in 20 years, when I look back, I'm like, what is this artwork? I just wanted to get like really classic and lifetimeable so it could live on forever and still be just classic and cool.
I've just noticed that you are still in the water in this as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone
Yeah.
as well.
Appreciate what
Appreciate
I
the art.
went through.
All right, so Jeremy on Twitter is asking, what was the inspiration for the title Mirror?
The inspiration for the title. The inspiration for the title was kind of two things. One was that like every song I write is a reflection of my personal experiences. And for a while I knew I wanted the title to be something to do with reflecting, but calling my album Reflection just felt like a big no. So when we finally discovered Mirror, I was like, oh, this is the best metaphor for I reflect on my life and then I write songs about it. But the second reason was I feel like there's so many emotions that go on in the album, like it's just an extreme roller coaster. And obviously, at the beginning of the album, I didn't know Matt yet, my boyfriend. And there's all these people that are in my life now, but they didn't get to really witness and go through those emotions at the beginning of the album with me. And I felt like the only thing that had really like seen every side of me, even when I'm not looking, was like my bedroom or my bathroom mirror. And I feel like every time I'm happy or I'm sad, I'm like staring at myself in the mirror. I walk by my mirror to get tissues when I'm crying. So I felt like my mirror had just seen every side of me in order to write the album.
Mm. And Tom on National Album Days Facebook is asking, where is your dream where is your dream place to play Mirror?
Ooh, my like dream venue.
I think so.
I think my dream venue is Rogers Arena in Vancouver because that's where I'm from and that's where I watched concerts growing up. I would love to also like play Wembley, but like by myself, not like in a lineup. I'd love to be the person who's actually like headlining it. But I think Rogers Arena, that would be a really big one for me because that's my hometown arena.
Yeah, that would be special. Wembley though, please can I come?
Yeah, yeah,
When it
you're there.
happens, when and Sarah on your Facebook is asking, how do you handle writer's block when writing songs?
Hmm. I feel like I hate saying this, but I just feel like I have so much trauma that like I could just keep writing for days. I definitely go through phases where like I've written every day for 2 weeks and I just don't want to be in the studio. I don't want to be creative. And I'm like, I need, a week off to maybe just go record videos or do promo or do something that is not sitting in a dark room for 8 hours of my day. I definitely get feelings like that. And normally I just listen to myself and take a break. I do tell people that, like, if you are struggling to just come up with concepts and things to write about, that probably means you need to like live more. So like go out, experience things with your friends. Like obviously for me, I write a lot of sad music. So I'm not trying to put myself in sad situations, but it definitely feels like maybe you need to just like live more and go do more fun things to have the experiences to write about. But I feel like I have so many things that I want to write about that I haven't gotten a chance to actually write about. That I don't all the time necessarily suffer with that, but I know it's going to come because I'm very early in my career still. So I'm full of energy and things to write about, but it's going to hit me at some point for sure.
Emma Jane on your Facebook, is asking, who is your inspiration to write music?
Ooh. Up, my biggest inspiration was Adele. I had all her vinyl all over my wall. I had all her posters. And she was like my biggest idol. I always sang her songs in like all the talent shows. Like round one, two, and three would all be different Adele songs. So definitely Adele.
And Sam from Record Store Days Facebook says, what advice would you give to an artist writing their debut album?
Ooh, what advice would I give? Definitely expect that it's going to be like the most stressful situation ever. I would also say like nothing is ever going to be perfect. Like it's your first album. And I feel like it's so easy to get caught up on the like this mix slightly like this, and this, and you're going like crazy over just wanting everything to be perfect. But I feel like your fans are going to love it no matter what, and your friends and your family are going to love it no matter what. So just put it out and be happy and be proud. There's no like right or wrong when it comes to creative.
Well, thanks everyone for sending in their questions. Lauren, before I let you go, What are you most looking forward to from tour? And you can't have done an American tour before, surely.
No, I've done like some pop-up shows in like the LA, New York, London, like all I did all those last year, but I never did a real actual tour.
Okay, yeah. What are you most looking forward to about hitting the road again when you're feeling better?
I'm actually really excited to come to the UK because every time I perform in the UK and is wild and so loud and so crazy. And I just know that everyone is going to bring the energy and the rowdiness. Same with Australia. I'm going to Australia and I've never been there. And I know that everyone's just rowdy and everyone's going to be super loud, which is my favorite energy. So I'm just excited to go to all the places I've never been to in Europe and feel the energy and the love from everyone.
Oh, you are literally going to have the best time. It's going to be so good. Well, that is all we have time for today. Thank you so much to everyone for getting your questions to us. Obviously, make sure to get yourselves a copy from your local record store, physical copy, support your local. Now that this episode is over, and I'm also very excited to announce that the winner of the Bowers and Wilkins Wireless Headphones Prize is Emma Jane on Lauren's Facebook page. So please slide into the Record Club's DMs and we'll get those headphones to you. Obviously, thank you everyone at home for joining us and sending in your questions. Our next guest is going to be announced on the Record Club's social media very soon. So make sure you're following us, and all previous episodes are available to watch back on our YouTube channel. Lauren Spencer Smith, thank you so much for joining us.